Hi.
Hi, Deb.
Hey, Alex.
So I was just reading this article that
Uh-huh.
London Hospital separated Native American women from their newborn babies until their test results came back. If they had a list of zip codes of 10 zip codes, the Pueblos list, and even for areas that were not high risk.
Oh my God.
A Loveless spokeswoman acknowledged screening patients by geography, but she would not confirm or deny the existence of a policy based on zip codes. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, brother.
Gross.
Hi, Ann.
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hi there. I'm good.
Good. And you look wonderful. Hi.
Thank you. This is my hair. It's growing out a little bit.
Right on.
It
We'll
is.
see.
It is.
Yeah.
Good.
It's beautiful.
It's nice to see you.
It's good to see
Nice
you.
to see you, ladies.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Getting a little excited. Alex,
Hello. Yeah.
we have a lot of work to do, don't we?
We do.
Oh.
A lot
Hang on
of
a second.
I usually sit up higher when I work, like this high, but it always chops off the top of my head. And then
I've probably do the same thing, huh?
I think it
That's
looks
better, huh?
better if I go lower and tilt the screen, because then all of my like wrinkles.
I actually have two numbers for her. I'm going to have to give you both. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I will.
Oh yeah, Joey was trying to add my background, but he couldn't do it. So I was like, that's okay. I'll just sit here in my living room and relax and sit back and enjoy the
Can I ask you a
meeting. And
question? Sorry to bug you. Can I ask you a question? I have two. So Nancy's taking her daughter to urgent care because she had a bad reaction to something, and she wants Leah's number. I have two for her: 225-2728 and 321-841. Which one's the better one?
Let me check.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt. I didn't mean to.
No.
oh, yeah, man.
Okay, good.
I have 321-8715.
Okay. That's the one I'll send to her.
Well, I couldn't get into the meeting that last night, the Unity
couldn't?
meeting.
Oh.
I couldn't get in, and I wanted to hear what they had to say.
It was a pep rally. No one could see anybody except for, the rock.
Yeah, it was done webinar style.
Right.
Yeah. So it was really, really good. But you know what? The other thing I started doing, and they told us about this in Emerge, is when I get online now, because I was real shiny. So because I use highlighter, right, to try to like make it look less droopy. So,
Right.
anyway, but I can tell you because
Either that or put a tight red on.
Joey's new. But anyway, so I'm using something called HD powder, and you just put it on, and it's a little white powder, but it just makes it more matte.
Oh,
so
okay.
You're online, right? So there was a media lady who came and talked to us, and out of everything she said to us, that's the only thing I remember. Use HD. Yeah, you can buy it like at Target, real cheap from that Elf brand, ELF, right? And you can buy it online from them, and it's just $6. So I use that, but neither of you guys need that. But I'm just saying.
Well, I'm kind of shiny, but I've got my. I should lower my shade a little bit.
I don't think you're shiny. I think you look bright and healthy.
Yeah.
And
I'm just really dark. I have to.
That's probably better. My husband is doing really well.
Good. I'm so
good.
So, yes.
Good. Is he done?
Very well. No, they actually extended it. Now he goes to radiation every day for 8 weeks, and 1 day out of the week he goes to chemotherapy for 4. But the doctors were very surprised at the progress he's made.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
good.
Yeah,
That's
so I was like,
wonderful.
oh, yay.
Hey,
Yeah.
I just saw in your hair. I love the
What's that?
I
Yeah,
love
the streak. That's
the-
beautiful.
really cool.
I've always had that. I've always had that, and I used to try and dye it out, but now
No.
I'm not dyeing my hair anymore.
No, it
Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Welcome.
it's real soft. When my friend lost all her hair, and then when it came back, it was like baby fine, soft.
Mm.
And it wasn't. My hair is getting really curly, and
Oh, yeah.
Shauna keeps telling. Yeah, Shauna tells me you need to go get it trimmed out, and I'm like, I know, but kind of afraid to go to the hair salon right now. You know, I'll wait
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
And they're saying that flying on a plane and haircuts and like mani-pedis, all that stuff that we like to do, is high risk. Hi, Doug.
You're not here yet.
Yeah.
Hey, did you vote today?
Hi guys, it's Joey. I'm driving through a baby. I'm sorry. Can you hear me, guys?
Hi,
I can
Joey.
hear you, Joe.
So I'm driving through a baby shower, so I'm on my phone. I'm not gonna use video until I'm done.
Fair enough.
I've never received anything to tell me to vote. Not yet, anyway.
You should have got a letter from, let's see.
I got mine this morning.
It said Team DPNM DNC balloted closed. You didn't get that?
Hi,
Oh.
Carol.
When I registered,
I know that Carla and Doug did because he told me. I just voted.
Good morning.
And you registered before the 11th, right?
I did. I registered the day that you sent it to me, and I haven't gotten it.
It's happening all day today, so I'm hoping you'll get it. I could just forward it to you and you could see if you're allowed.
Okay, send it to my Alex Pyland at.
Alex can actually call Chelsea's phone number is on the email, and Chelsea can go in and maybe do a master reset to her.
Oh, okay. All right. So maybe if I text her.
Yeah, the phone number they have on here is Hayden's. But I'm gonna go ahead and forward that to you anyway, and because if you registered and you got an email back from okay, Leah's gonna moderate. Yay. I was hoping because Lancy asked me and I said, well, I just made myself a big plate of vegetables and cheese. Hard
Who's
to moderate.
moderating?
Huh?
Who's moderating?
Leah.
Oh, good.
Yes. Oh, I need to let some.
Nancy's daughter is okay.
Me too. She said she thinks it was she had some shellfish.
Oh. So I bought the sea bass at Costco, and it's these really, really nice steaks. And I put a little bit of garlic and a little bit of butter in the bottom of my air fryer. And then I salt and pepper and squeezed half a lemon, juicy lemon, all over it. And I made 2 little sea bass steaks. It was so good.
I love sea bass.
Do I need lipstick?
Yes. No.
Nice to see you both again.
Same here. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Congratulations,
Hello.
Anne.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Anne. Hi, Douglas.
Hi. Oh, God.
Let's
And
see.
Carla.
Albert,
Woo,
John.
look
Hey,
at that
John.
hair.
Delbert, John.
Quiet about my hair.
You look
Oh, I love
Your
it.
hair is cute. It looks
I like it.
mop-ish. Yeah, like it makes you look
You're starting to look like a beetle.
household.
Hello, Karen.
How's it going, everybody?
good. How are you?
Good.
Oh, Mr. Chairman.
Hi, Delbert. I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. So, nothing new here. Same old every single day.
Dang.
Every single damn day.
I see we have Miss Ann Brady Romero on, so good to
Hey,
see
Ann.
you.
Yes,
Congrats
sir.
on your victory.
Thank you very much.
Right.
So
It
you're
was
ready for
exciting. It was,
Right.
no, I have a lot of work to do. Lots and lots of work to do, but we'll do it.
All right.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, guys. Hey, just FYI, Nancy had a family emergency, so I'll be moderating this.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Hope she's okay.
her
Yeah.
daughter. Yeah, she's fine. Her daughter had food poisoning, so they're going to the urgent care. I don't know if she needed you to know that, but yeah.
But
She's
now
fine.
we do.
It's okay. I think
Yeah,
it's okay.
sorry. Yeah, I think it's okay. So we have candidates who? We have Ann, Alex,
Put Billy down
Sandoval.
there.
Barbara's on.
Barbara, congratulations, Barbara.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
hello,
Yeah.
Barbara.
And hey, Alex.
Leah,
Chris.
Leah, put Billy down on the list. I have a video that she wants me to show for her.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Why don't we start with that?
Okay, do you want to do the pledge first, or do you want us to just?
Well,
do
yeah.
that?
Can you
The
put us
agenda.
on mute? Can you put us on mute when we do the pledge, please?
Aw, okay.
And I'll have
Otherwise, it's cacophony.
Right, right.
And
Oh,
Leah,
that's-
I'm going to
that's too
have
big.
one announcement.
Okay.
And I also need time for my campaign and the Women's Federation, please.
Hey, John, do you want the we'll do announcements first? I
Hey,
guess?
there's
Yeah,
So
Madam
let's do
State
announcements.
Chair. Great.
Oh, Marg, hi.
Mark.
Nice to see you again.
Yay.
It was great seeing you last night.
Hey.
That was a great event last night.
It
I
was.
could not get in. It wouldn't let me in.
It only allowed 100 people.
difficulties. Pardon?
Only allowed 100 people is what somebody.
Really? So
Yeah,
it's on it's on our website. You can watch the reprise.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really good.
You can go fast over the boring parts that way.
Any boring parts?
Not me though. It
Not
was really
you.
fun. It was really fun to do because we did unfortunately have technical difficulties. We couldn't get the Zoom and the Facebook lined up.
Right.
So we were late getting started, but we had the governor on with
Wow.
Ray Lujan and the
So my mic is gonna be
congresswomen and congresswoman to be, and
I mean,
it
it's
was
gonna be
a fun back and forthing. Yeah.
And the justices.
And the justices and judges. So,
Yeah.
and I'm so proud of who we have on our ticket and who we get to vote for. Really outstanding folk.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
propel all Democrats up and down the ballot into.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. As someone who's at the very bottom of the ballot, I really appreciated Ben Ray's point about start at the bottom and work the way up.
Yeah, I thought that was good too.
It's like, yes, thank you.
I'm gonna vote for you first, Alex.
Yes, thank
I'm gonna look for you and vote for you. You and Billy.
you. You don't have to look. It's just literally at the end.
I know. I know.
I'm sad I don't get to vote for Billy, Alex, or Leah. But I have a great commissioner.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But you know what? We get to vote for Ann. I get to vote for Ann and Jenny.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Jenny on?
Oh,
Or is she coming on? Jenny?
I don't see
Jenny?
her yet.
Let's see her.
Okay.
She's not
Here's
in the waiting
Brenda.
room.
Hello, Marcus. How are you?
There's
Oh,
Brenda
Brenda's on?
and Bob.
Brenda's coming on.
or who's it?
That's Ruth. Oh, Brenda's somewhere.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Barbara,
Brenda.
Leah, Bob.
Somehow let me in weird. I'm gonna hang up and call again.
No, you're good.
No, you look good.
Hi.
It's your space
But
break.
I can't see anything.
Oh,
I can
okay.
see you.
Yeah, go ahead and redo.
But we like your where you are.
Yeah, he's out in space. That's why he's having such a hard time, because he's out in space.
Joel wants
Wow.
And Ruth,
Wow,
hey,
you're
Ruth,
good.
Oh,
Yeah, you
Doug's
are.
in spades too.
It just played weird.
You look like you're in something from Meow Wolf.
Let's
Okay, there
see.
we go.
Hi, Deb. Hi, Alex. Hi, Ann.
Hi,
Hi,
Joel.
Doug. Hi,
Yeah.
Tim.
Hello.
Hi,
See us all
Delbert.
now.
Hi, Catherine.
Yeah.
Kitty.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Marcus.
Naomi is
Hi, Gary.
flying.
Hi, Deb.
Nice to
Ah,
see you.
Tim. Hi,
Carl,
Deb.
good to
Hi,
see
Leah.
you.
Hi, Barb.
Gary.
Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Mark.
Gary,
Get Katie to come to it.
Gary has come in. Yeah.
Hi, Bob. Hi,
Hi,
Brenda.
Delbert.
Hi, Ruth.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gary's here.
Hi, Gary.
Gary just
Yeah.
came in.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi,
So-
Gary.
It's going to be a big meeting.
Hi,
Very
Lakers.
good. Wow, this is good.
Where's my chat? There it is. Oops, that's not what I want. Participant. We're going to get started, so I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone. And I believe we're going to start with the pledge. We're muting
The
everybody
pledge.
so we don't make this horrible cacophony. So, okay, let me put this up. I pledge allegiance. Oh, I should. I pledge allegiance to the United States flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of New Mexico. Oh, I bet I didn't share. I just realized I didn't share the screen. I'm like saying it, no flag. Let me try again. There we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let me share the other one. Ah! I'm so sorry, you guys. I accidentally closed it down.
Why don't we go ahead and just,
Be happy with the American flag.
well, let's go ahead and do the,
The salute without the flag? Okay. I salute the flag of New Mexico, the Zia
the Zia
symbol.
symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Thank you. That's why I like having it, so I can actually see it or read
All
it.
right. All right, guys. So, sorry, my thing keeps falling off. Okay, so today we are going to start with announcements. Nancy had a family emergency, so I'll be moderating today. So let's go ahead and Deb, if you want to unmute people as we go along. We'll go ahead. We have an announcement from our Sandoval County Democratic Party Chair, John.
Hi, thanks, Liam. So as you guys know, we had we had gotten a donation of $2,500 from somebody, and we made it into a challenge, a fundraising challenge, and we've matched that challenge. We got about 2.5 more weeks to go, so I'm still going to continue to ask for money because that allows us to give more increased resources to our communications team as well as our various local candidates. We gave a $500 grant to each of our local candidates, from Alex, Leah, Brenda, and as well as Ann Brady Romero. I don't see other candidates. Oh, Gary as well. So the more that we're able to contribute, the more we're able to provide support to our efforts up and down the ballot. So we're going to continue to push. 2.5 more weeks to go. So please reach inside your pockets and consider a contribution to the Sandoval County Democratic Party. Thanks, Leah.
All right, and Alex, our president for the Sandoval County Federation of Democratic Women, has an announcement.
Hi, so my name is Alexandria Pyland, for those of you who don't know me, and I am the current president of Sandoval County Federation of Democratic Women, and we are sandovalcountyfdw.org. Everyone who's online should consider joining. You guys should all join, be members. we are going to have an online meeting on June 27th at 2 p.m. and we are going to be training in how to use Vote Builder. We're going to start off with somebody from the Riding with Biden campaign, and she's going to give us a brief overview. So in the meantime, everybody should go to votebuilder.com and create an account. You won't be able to get any data until you volunteer for a campaign. Speaking of volunteering, this is a time of year when our candidates really ask you to get out and knock doors, because we know that's the most effective thing that we can do. Unfortunately, we can't do that this campaign cycle, and it's looking like we aren't going to be able to do that. We might be able to work in a lit drop in the future, several months away. But what we're asking you to do is to take that time that you would use to canvass, to commit to canvassing and commit to phone banking for us. So we're going to ask you to, you'll be trained by the Riding with Biden campaign. So maybe you could help them out for an hour a week, but we really want you to help our Sandoval County candidates. In the interest of full disclosure, I am one. So if you would please volunteer for 2 to 3 hours a week, make sure to select your favorite candidate or candidates and commit to regularly phone banking for them. The beautiful thing about phone banking is that you can break it up, and you can, if you have, half an hour, you can phone bank for Brady Romero, right? And then if you have another 45 minutes, you can phone bank for Leah or me, right? Or Jen Taylor or me. See how I slipped that in there. So please, if you need information about, or if you want to be included in the email, we're going to be sending it out from the Women's Federation. I'm going to forward it to Delbert and Deb to send it out to all Democrats who want to be trained. And if you need extra information, you can all reach me at this website. Can you see that? This website and this phone number. I will put the information in the comment section here for you to write down, but there it is. So thank you so much, Sandoval County Federation of Democratic Women.
Thank you, Alex. And we are honored to have our state chair, party chair here, Mark Ellison, who wants to say a few things.
Well, thank you. It's so good to be with my homies. So I really am happy to see everybody, and I'm excited about a great primary that we had, and now we know who the Democrats are that are going to be on the ballot. We're voting for up and down that ballot. So it's great, and we've got to figure out some really creative ways to work together to get all of you elected. So already Alex has just laid out one strategy, and we're going to be coming up with more as the season progresses. I'm looking forward to what those will be as well. But right now, as we were just discussing at the start, we had a wonderful post-primary rally last night. It was, we tried to make it live on Facebook. I know we had some technical difficulties, but it's now posted on the nmdemocrats.org website, and you can look it over. I am so proud of the candidates that we have at the top of our ticket, and you'll see them in all their glory. The governor was speaking from the mansion, and Ben Ray, and Senator Udall was on, handing the torch to Ben Ray Lujan. So it's really great, and it'll energize you for what's coming next. I'm also excited because today we're having our CD elections for the delegates. Our delegate selection process is finally happening. And those of you who signed up to be electors, I hope that you've gotten your email with your ballot, and I just voted mine. It's really a slick little process on Google Forms. So please, if you're an elector, please participate. I know that on this call, Deb is running as a delegate, so sure she can use your help as others. But it's a great process, and you have to vote today to be able to vote next week when we are voting for our PLEOs, public elected official positions, and also our at-large positions. So that's a big thing that's happening right now. And then we're starting our our team is working really hard with the teams of other candidates on the coordinated campaign, and lots of stuff is in development. So I'm really not, yeah, lots of stuff is in development, and stay tuned. We're going to be rolling things out. But I know that that county parties are going to have a heavy load this time, because we're going to have different strategies, and we as county parties, I still feel loyal to that, need to come up with ways to do our relational organizing. Name your friends, make sure you contact them, stay in touch, keep them involved. That's going to be a big part of the project process. And then all the work you guys are doing online is going to be really important as well. So stay tuned for how that's going to roll out. And then I was really happy to hear from the governor last night that she's going to include some improvements to the mail-in voting process on the call for the special session, which starts at the end of next week. So we had tremendous success with mail-in voting this time. We had, I can't remember the statistics, they just flew, but anyway, 100,000, we had 13.5 times as many Democrats voting by mail this election than we had in 16. So, I mean, that's huge. We overwhelmed the system, but it's really important that we keep going, because people like to vote by mail. Guess what? And they like to be able to sit down with their family and figure out their ballots at home. And they like to be safe and send them in. So there's lots of ways that we're going to hopefully tweak the system. I think we have a lot of work to do about drop boxes and stuff, so people can turn in ballots without getting out of their car. We need to give more time for the county clerks to get the ballots out to folks, because they were very rushed in this process, and a lot of people got their ballots late. So we don't want that to happen in November. We know there's going to be a huge demand for mail-in voting in November, so we want to get ready. And I'm really happy that the governor's going to put it on the call. I know, and I would encourage all of you to talk to your state senators, especially, to support changes in the mail-in voting process, because it's gonna make life easier for all of us, keep our voting, our personnel, poll personnel safer, and all of us safer. So it's a good thing to do. 77% of Democrats voted by mail this time. So when you see people putting up barriers to that, you know what they're trying to do. They're trying to suppress the vote. And want that to happen. So everybody needs to pitch in on that one. And that's a great issue for the special session as well. So I can go on for a long time, but I won't. That's about what I've got today. And it's great to see everybody, and look forward to working to make sure you're all elected November 3rd.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So Deb, do you have Billy's video ready? Do you want to do that first? Okay, yeah. So let's go ahead and start with that. We'll go on to candidates now.
Let's see this one. Anytime now.
Do you want to save it for later?
Yeah, let's just see if it.
Okay. So let's go ahead and move on with candidates. We'll go ahead and start with Barbara. You want to say a few things? You might have to. There you go.
Hi everyone. It's good to see everybody. I really miss the in-person contact, but I guess we're all in the same boat. I just want to say thank you to those of you who did support me and help me with my campaign. And you know, I realize that politics is hard. I'm not a politician, so I will definitely be taking advantage of and helping all of you. And I hope that you will help me as well, because I know my job as a prosecutor and a district attorney, but I'm not a politician. But I'm so happy with the turnout. First of all, I think it's great. I think that our campaign to get people to vote by mail and to get out did help. So I think, definitely we should try to increase that message as much as we can. I know personally, I talked to several people who were not able to vote because they sent their ballots in too late or they got it late. And so that's really unfortunate, but hopefully if we can get the message going now and keep it going, then by November, we'll have a very strong turnout of Democrats. And I want to help everybody that's running. So please call me if I can help you. Go to my website if I can help you. And again, I appreciate any advice and help from each of you because you're all great and I'm a novice and I definitely do need your help. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Barbara. And initially I forgot to say, let's go ahead and do 3 minutes if you need it for candidates. So 3 minutes is the stopping point. And we will go with Brenda. Are you on?
She needs to unmute.
Unmute yourself, Brenda.
Try again.
There.
There we go.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and really happy to be with you. I regret, Marge and others on the line here, that I missed the event yesterday. I did not get the invitation, but I think I've rectified that so that next time I won't be left out. But it sounds like it was really great. It was a really great event. Oops, sorry. I got to stop this. Stop my phone from talking. Sorry about that. Let me just take this outside. It doesn't stop talking.
Just throw it in the toilet. That's what I do.
Anyway, what I've been doing since this Monday is we've started our campaign. As you know, this district is virtually 50-50, but it's very winnable. When I get on call time, I tell folks how important it is to keep it under Democratic leadership. And whether I call people from inside our district or outside, it really resonates with them. And so that's been very effective. We do realize that the GOP has targeted this seat. We anticipate there's going to be a lot of oil and gas money coming in, as well as big pharma, corporate money. There is a very well-known campaign manager who is on Mr. Clark's team. So we anticipate it's going to be a challenge, but we're absolutely up to it. I have the same team members that I did in the primary. We worked really well together. So we're just going to move on forward together for November. And even though we have a slight majority in the Senate, I'm just so impressed with what happened in the races in the South. It's like progression is the word of 2020. And so with that, I'm really excited. I'm also very excited to help my fellow candidates. Whatever I can do when I'm not working, I will be going back to work for the Congresswoman next Tuesday and working on my campaign. But please don't hesitate, because I'm in this to win for all of us. And with that, I thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. So, Gary, you're up. Is Gary on?
There we go. Can everybody hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you. I would like to start with thank yous as well, especially thank you for all of you that supported me, but in particularly, we had 6 sites of about 15 volunteers on my campaign that worked 6 different sites on the primary election day. And I think it turned out to be very beneficial that people saw signs or the names or people advertising for Gary Tripp. And I just want to thank them from the bottom of my heart. It was great. The biggest thing I've been working on since the primary is relationships, trying to go back to some of my friends and donators that have worked on supporting me at the grassroots level with the $20, the $30, or the $50 strategies, and just try to convince them that we're going to keep pushing forward and we're going to keep working hard, and their support and their contributions do matter, and we're going to make best use of that money. I've also been trying to reach out to Republicans that I know, and I try to listen to them. And as soon as I listen to what their frustrations are, I try to hit them with some things that I think can resonate in their hearts, so that they really know that they're a person of kindness, and not like the person that we have in the White House. So we can move away in that direction come November, which I think could serve all Democrats well if we keep pushing that point home with our DTSs and our Republicans. We've been trying to, on the Democratic side, we've been trying to market as much as possible that here are the votes that have happened for the Democratic Party in Sandoval County or in District 44 in 2016 and 2018. So when we're on the phone or we're calling Democrats now, we got to get those percentages up, especially if we're going to win District 44. And that's a big drive that we're going to be talking to our volunteers this Thursday night as we have an organizational meeting, virtual organizational meeting about phone banking and so forth. We've been trying to stay on a theme strategy with our virtual town hall meetings. Really concerned about the poverty levels of the state of New Mexico. So we're having another virtual meeting this Wednesday night at 7 p.m. about financial literacy, trying to bring in the small business community, the banks, the credit union institutions, the education, the PED, trying to wrap everything, trying to get a real clear understanding about how we need to help our poverty citizens of the state of New Mexico. We also have, I've also been able to join, thanks to the friend Curtis Spencer, who is one of our silent but true leaders in this community, African-American leader with the social injustice. I've been able to be on 2 virtual meetings with leaders, some leaders that come on board with the virtual meeting from across the country, and some of our local leaders in the state of New Mexico about some of the problems. And right now, the big thing for me, and I think the big thing for a lot of people, is to listen to make sure we understand what we haven't been doing, those of us that aren't African American, how we've been in the back seat or sitting down. So a lot of listening with social injustice. And if the time's up, I will leave it at that. Okay.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you for all your support.
All right, so let's go ahead and hear from our next county clerk, Ann Brady Romero.
Hello, everybody. You know, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. This was my first time getting into this political arena. It was very nerve-wracking. I didn't sleep. I do want to thank everyone that considered me and voted for me. I really sincerely appreciate it. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of money to raise, and couldn't have done it with such a great campaign manager, our Joey Dominguez, who we all know and love very much. Looking forward to, you know, the educating the youth, educating the sovereign nations, the Navajo Nation. I appreciated everyone's vote. It was very nerve-wracking for me. I participated in Eileen's campaigns, but nothing like when you're out there and your name is out there. And so really need to strive to get my recognition, my name recognition. And really, we need to change that dais at the county. It needs to be blue. And we need to get Alexandria and we need to get Leah in there. We need to do that. And we all need to work together to get myself, Jenny, Alex, Leah, Barbara, good race, Gary, everybody, all Democrats. Let's keep our state blue. Let's keep our county blue. Please, we have to do this. We have a lot of work to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. And we will go with our next county commissioner in District 4, Alex Haaland.
You're muted.
Unmute.
Can you hear me now? All right. So hi, everybody. My name is Alexandria Pyland, and I am running to be the next Sandoval County Commissioner in District 4. I want to thank everybody for their support for the primary election. I don't have to tell you all that we are living in unprecedented times, and we're facing the most crucial election of our lifetime. We all agree on this. What happens locally affects us all immediately, right? Just like what happens on the entire ballot affects us all. My opponent, he who shall not be named, has deep pockets. He's pandering to some of the local business alliances. For evidence of this, just go to to last Sunday's Rio Rancho Observer. You can see he was a guest columnist, and he is going to get the support of businesses in Sandoval. Ordinarily, like I mentioned earlier, we asked you to canvass, but I really need your help for phone banking. That's going to be the big push. That's going to be what's going to get us across the finish line and on to victory. So we really need you to pledge to phone bank. If you can't, if you're unable, or in addition to, we also need some donations. Today is second Saturday. Ordinarily, we would have all been at Matucci's having a fabulous lunch and paying just about $15 a meal. Please consider donating that to alexandriaforsandoval.com. If you're unable to do the full 15, 10, 5, $2, whatever you can use, whatever you can afford or whatever you can spare. alexandriaforsandoval.com. I really sincerely appreciate your support, and I just want you to know that I don't take it for granted. I'm going to work very hard to make sure that all of our views are respected and go with me to the county commission. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Alex. So I'm Leah Aki-Bakowitz, if you don't already know that, and I am running for Sandoval County Commissioner in District 2, which is Corrales and a portion of Rio Rancho. First of all, I'd just like to thank you all for your support, whether it was phone banking for me or making a contribution to my campaign or just posting on social media in support of my campaign. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. There are many reasons I'm running for this position, but one of the main reasons is because I feel strongly that the current commissioner does not adequately or at all represent the values that I hold. When this commissioner can, without social distancing, without wearing a mask, rally with Cowboys for Trump in Corrales, I have a problem with that. When he so boldly goes out there and speaks out for racism, essentially, I have a problem with that. I've worked in my community, I've rallied, I run this monthly meeting with a lot of help from you all. I've been there. I am the current vice chair of the Sandoval County Democratic Party. And this is my way of protest, running for the seat. Like Ann says, it's not easy. I'm a wallflower. Like, I am not like the most outspoken person, but this is so important to me that I will step up. I have stepped up to run. I feel it is imperative that we change the face of the current Sandoval County Commission. There are 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats. These Republicans fight for right to work for less ordinances, for drilling through fracking, for against these red flag laws. I was called out on my opponent's webpage saying that I do fight for red flag laws. And you know what? I proudly do. I think guns need to be regulated. I'm running this race hard. I'm doing my phone calls in the evening. Right now, we have a deadline of July 2nd, I believe. Right now, it is imperative that I raise money. So I've been making the calls out, sending out the emails. If you have $20, $10, it will go a long way to get me this commission seat, to get us, honestly, I shouldn't even say me, to get us this commission seat, to fight for the values that we all fight for. So please look at my website, leah4sandoval.com. Anything will help. I will reach out to you. So thank you so much for giving me this platform. All right, so we have Bob Pearls on. He'd like to just say some thank yous to the party. Bob?
Thanks, Leah. It's nice to see everybody. The day after the election, I called Ann Brady Romero to say congratulations. Both she and Joey ran a good race, and I pledged my support. It's good to see everybody on the line. I just want to take a moment to say thanks to all of my volunteers. I had an amazing campaign structure. Some of the folks on the call were putting in 5, 10, 15 hours a week, which I really, really appreciate. I want to offer my support to all of you. As some of you know, I've had some experience messaging to independents and working with some of the independent voting community. Contrary to some of the rumors, I've never been a Republican, but I was a DTS voter for a little while I was running my election-focused nonpartisan organization. And so if I can help in any way, help messaging, focus on open primaries, focus on some other issues that independents care about, I'd very much like to offer that. And I'm going to be devoting a lot of time to Gary Tripp's campaign. I see that as being a very important seat. I also appreciated Gary's public endorsement in my primary, and I'm going to be spending a lot of time helping Damon Eli get elected, because I also appreciate his public endorsement in the primary. So thanks for the opportunity. I plan to stay fully engaged over the coming years, and let me know how I can help. Thanks.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for stepping up and running and being an advocate in Sandoval. We truly need that with the Democratic Party. Thank you so much. So, Deb, do you have that video up and ready?
Well, I'm going to see.
Okay.
We'll try it again one more time. Oops.
Good morning, Sandoval County Democrats. I'm Billy Hewlett, and I'm running for the New Mexico House of Representatives in District 57, as most of you know. I'm sorry I can't be with you today. I have every intention of being at today's meeting, but it is your race as a training opportunity for that, but I just didn't want to pass that. And so hopefully you'll understand why I'm missing the meeting today. And hopefully I'm learning how to be a better human. So, when we had the election in 2016, election night and the day after the election, I knew things were going to be hard. I expected to be as hard as it has been for us. During the violence and all of these other things that have been happening in our communities. And so, looking at all of the stuff that's happening right now, we can see so clearly how elections matter. Fully elect matters. And in order for us to have the kind of society that we want, we need to make sure that we have about the community. To be some reproductive things that you're really good at that you'd like to contribute to the campaign, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. You can always reach out to me via phone or text. By my email at vote.com. I hope you're doing really well and have a wonderful
All right. So that's all the candidates I have, unless I missed someone. Nope. Okay. So today we have the great honor of having our New Mexico Democratic Party Vice Chair with us to speak on 2 issues, we're hoping. Of course, you know, the things going on with racism and Black Lives Matter in our country, as we know, is horrific. So hopefully he can speak on that. And then also, how do we get young Democrats out to vote and, you know, elevate their voices? So I'd like to introduce Marcus Porter, our Vice Chair for the New Mexico Democratic Party. Welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me, everyone. Again, I'm Marcus, your Vice Chairman. I'll start with some of the updates, well, answering the question about getting young Democrats involved. So there is a caucus of the Young Democrats of New Mexico, obviously. They've become a lot more organized now that they have new leadership. And I'll give the current president's contact information in the comments later. Because what I really wanted to do as it pertains to young Democrats and getting them or us involved is really empowering an organization that specifically has that as their mission. And that is obviously the Young Democrats of New Mexico. So I'll give their contact information. But what they've been doing most recently, I got an update from Brianna Gallegos, who's the president right now. The first woman president of the Young Democrats in probably 20 years or more. So that was a pretty big accomplishment. But they've been doing a lot of virtual town halls and looking to expand the branches in the different counties. So reaching out via social media to get more young people, especially at university level, involved with what the Young Democrats are doing, keeping that pipeline going. They also had a town hall with Biden's team for Young Democrats talking about climate change. One thing you might realize, you know, Young Democrats, I mean, in their mid-30s, as I am, the issues are very important. Climate change, the reason you were seeing young people march or rally is because they get behind a cause. They don't just jump behind a party. We are the only party that really addresses any of those issues, but it's really cause-based, and that's really how you get most of the young people involved, because the party structure is different from just actually caring about an issue. So that town hall happened. There was a national YDA, Young Democrats of America town hall with Deb Haaland that they also participated in. So what I would suggest is, and you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Talk to the Young Democrats of New Mexico president. We're actually planning an event coming up soon. It's a pretty big event, trying to get funding and whatnot for candidates. So I'll try to drop a line and make sure Brianna contacts you all about that as well. But really just talking to them, seeing what they're doing, because they're always doing something, and then just supporting it right now, which is virtually, but you know, once things change, supporting it in person as well. Because that's one thing the Young Democrats is about, is actually accomplishing things. So the more people that are willing to help, the better. That's most of the update from, that's pretty much everything from Young Democrats in New Mexico. You can go to their website, though. That's been updated recently. As far as the other topic, I mean, it's kind of hard to just tackle that topic. I'm a Black man, surprise. So how this has all affected me, I also come from Baltimore, which is a mostly black city, that has had to deal with these type of things, whether it was Ferguson, which happened right where I used to live, or just seeing it happen anywhere with George Floyd. I'm happy to see the progress made with Black Lives Matter not being called a terrorist organization anymore, with it being so multicultural, the people who are protesting. I'm happy to see people not lose interest in it. I'm glad to see Breonna's law got passed in, I think it was Kentucky. I'm glad to see the progress, but in part it is because, well, so my generation, I'm a Gen Y or millennial. I'm 35 years old. A lot of people think the millennials are still 18 or something like that, but we're a very large generation. So they talk about the suburban mom. The suburban mom who's in her mid-30s is a millennial. Like, so the entire structure of the population is starting to change as far as viewpoints, and that's been very helpful. I think keeping these protests sustained and actually getting some progress about changing laws and holding politicians to account. If you want the vote, you need to actually do something to deserve it, because just as Black people, it works both ways. If I talk to someone and they say, well, obviously the most important thing is to vote, especially locally, because that's going to affect your life so much. And so you can be represented. I mean, those are fairly obvious reasons. But then you have the other side where it's, well, why do I vote if nothing's ever changing? If I vote for this Democrat or that one, and my grandparents didn't, get the things promised, and the parents and my generation, you start to feel a little disenchanted. So, I mean, that makes it an uphill battle, but it's one that I understand. So, I just put a little extra effort in showing, well, if you feel like no one's going to represent you well if you vote for them, then make people vote for you and go out there and do it yourself, which is kind of why I ran as well to be vice chair. I do believe you have to be the change you want to see. And if you're not in any position of power to make any change, then change comes long and hard. That's my general feeling about all of it. And hopefully we actually see some substantial change, quantitative change, so we can actually see how many laws are changed, how many different policies are amended about chokeholds not being, allowed, things of that nature. That's when I'll start to, rack up the scoreboard, essentially, to see what has come as a result of all of the protests. If you have any specific questions, I can answer those about it. No. I think you're still muted.
Questions. I have a question.
Okay, so sorry about that. I was talking muted. So anyhow, thank you, Marcus. Yeah, so we can do Q&A now. If you guys have any questions, unmute yourself, let us know, or you can send it in the chat box, and Deb, maybe you can flag those. So yeah, any questions for Marcus on either topic?
I have one. I was going to type, but I'm a slow typist.
So am I.
Yeah, this is Barb. Am I okay to go, Leah?
Yes, please. Sorry.
So Marcus, I've been a career prosecutor. I've been a prosecutor for 24 years. And what do you think I can specifically do to help change the culture within the criminal justice system to make sure that racism against any race, whether Black, Native, Hispanic, is not something that prevails within the system? I mean, there's many reforms that are needed in the criminal justice system, but specifically, what ideas do you have for me if I become district attorney from day one? How can I how can I begin to change that culture?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with, especially in the criminal justice system, fair outcomes to similar cases. For instance, if one person is caught with drugs, looking at what sentences are given, looking at the types of people who are constantly being brought to you. I'm not a lawyer myself, but I think having a watchful eye of a person who does care makes a difference. If I expand that out to, say, policing, if an officer does have racist tendencies and wants to act out, if that officer knows that his commanding officer is someone of color or someone who just cares enough about that, then they're not going to assume they can just get away with it. So honestly, being in a watchful eye and being open with people that you are someone who cares about that and you will look for it to root out any of that, I think will make a big difference. Because you can't change everybody, but the people who are able to lead, you can sway them with your positive example and holding people accountable.
That helps.
All right.
One of the things I do want to have is a conviction integrity unit, and so those ideas will be very, very helpful. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Barbara. So I'm just going to go along the chat box there and unmute yourself when you're ready to when you're called out. So Alex has a question. Alex, is she there?
I don't know, but
all right. So let's go ahead and go with Marg, and then I can come back to Alex.
Thank you, Marcus, for your wise words. I so appreciate you and everything that you're contributing to our party. I had a really great question, and now it's gone.
No.
So this is Ruth. Mark, okay, you're gonna come back? Yeah.
Yeah.
So in relation to Alex's question, we were watching the numbers during the primary, and it was concerning that the 18 to 40-year-olds, basically, if they had absentee ballots, they didn't return them. So as we gear up for the fall campaign, who can give us specifics as a county party regarding suggestions, what we should do to try to motivate these voters?
To actually come out and vote. I mean, that's been the issue for decades. We register people to vote, but how do we get them to actually come out and vote? So those are two different things. Now, I don't know how many of the people who in 18 to 40 who asked for absentee ballots decided to just come in and vote instead of mailing them back. That would be something worth knowing. But I would say if you look at 18, the turnout was significant. And that being a midterm, I think that's indicative of how things will be in November. Honestly, I don't think you can pump up a Democrat who is anyway desirous to vote more than they already are to vote against Donald Trump. I think we just need to make sure that we are very clear about when the early voting starts, how people can vote, and constantly remind them of it. If you think about, well, I'm in that age group, I'm dead in the middle of that age, well, not in the middle, but I'm in that age group. It's just like we plan an event for people to come to, even if it's at a brewery, and we're going to be doing and talking about some topics that matter to this age group. Unless you remind them the day of, and then like 2 hours before, and 1 hour before, marketing is my thing. So it's just consumer behavior, essentially. How do people act? What do they respond to? So it's kind of just incumbent on us to make sure that, I mean, everybody knows who Trump is and that he's going to be up for election in November. That's not something that people are surprised about. We just need to make sure they know when they can vote and where they can vote and how they can vote if it's not in person. That's what I would do. And I think the party has put a lot of money behind digital efforts, most recently with Deb Haaland's campaign. And I think that'll be effective.
So yeah, getting the message out for sure. That is
So I
definitely
remembered my
important. And I
question.
think, and then also I was going to say, I think also part of that message needs to be, make sure you go down the ballot, or I've heard start from the bottom and go up. So yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah,
No worries.
down the ballot are important. But and my question was a lot aligned with Ruth's. I think that there's a lot of new leadership emerging from the protests, et cetera. I was really taken with some young people that Congresswoman Haaland had on one of her Facebook Lives. Very young folks that it would be great to sort of politicize. So I would love to work with you, Marcus, about figuring out how we continue to reach out to them. And as you were saying, recognize them for the new leadership that we're seeing, and then see what changes they're interested in making right now. I know that we're coming up on a special legislative session. I was just reading about the proposals that folks are going to offer around policing, and already the mean old Republicans are saying, "Oh, we need to just focus on budget. We don't need to deal with that as well." So that we're going to be pushing each other on that. So it would be great to have some of these young people helping us, because they, as well. Period. Exclamation point.
And they're very tech savvy.
And I think with the resources that YDA has, can be helpful too, because most of our caucuses, but not all of our caucuses, have a national kind of affiliate, and Young Democrats from New Mexico does with the Young Democrats of America. So I think working more, which was one of the goals I said when I was running, making sure that the Young Democrats and the Democratic Party of New Mexico can work more in tandem, because there are national resources that can be brought to the party via that caucus. So whether it's just personnel, somebody who can speak, or maybe even if it's something more substantial. So yeah, definitely, Mark.
All right, so is Alex back? Do you want to ask a question?
I'm unmuted. Okay, so my question is morphed a little bit. My question is, has DPNM researched any best practices on how to increase youth participation? And if so, what are they? Do you guys have any specific suggestions that we could employ in Sandoval County? Thank you.
There are best practices. The DNC provides kind of a treasure trove of different best practices across the board. I typically, like I did recommend here, partnering with YDNM, because again, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. And if these things are already happening, because they do have their meetings with YDA, then you can just see where you fit in and where you can help bolster it. But I don't think, so this may be good news, don't take so much of the responsibility on yourself of what you need to do next, other than contacting them. Because sometimes that helps light a fire under people as well, to get people going a little more. And once you know you have support from counties who actually want to get involved, that's when things move even faster. We went up to Farmington right after I was elected, and brought up some young Dems with me as well. We spoke about the issues. They had some young Democrats there. We helped them set up a branch within a week or two from that. Because there are a few steps, obviously, to set up a branch in different counties. But if your branch if you don't have a branch or is not performing as well, they can help rejuvenate it. And then you can just start helping that branch. So first step, I'd say contact YDNM. Second, making sure that the branch that is in Sandoval is active. And then, at that point, it's just doing the things we normally do to get out the message.
Do we have a YDNM in Sandoval?
We did at one point. Yeah.
Yeah, there used to be one. But,
hi guys, this is Joey. Yes, so we did have a wide Young Democrats of Sandoval County. We founded it in 2003. I was one of the founders of it. That organization has since not been as active. And so, yeah, I think that's great that we do rejuvenate it. Thank you, Marcus, for bringing these points in. But I think a way that we can move forward and really draw in young people is focus on younger outlets, right? Snapchat, TikTok, those seem to be resonating more with people in the 18 to 24 range. So I have a proposal being drafted for the county party so we can invest some money into those media outlets. So I hope that answers the question about the Young Democrats of Sandoval County.
A little bit.
All right.
I have
yeah.
a quick question about that.
Oh. Okay,
Go ahead.
We haven't had an active group in Sandoval County. Do we now? I've actually tried to communicate with Brianna Gallegos about this, and then she had Isaac Chavez designated as a president and Gail Aho designated as vice president, but none of those people are working on Young Democrat things that I'm aware of. I mean, I've been in touch with them by email, and they're not active here in Sandoval County with Young Democrats. Gail's busy with Gary's stuff.
So quick interjection, guys. Those folks are new officers. Prior to them, there was nobody really engaged in that. The last president, I believe, he moved out of state. So I recruited Isaac Chavez, and I think that kind of started the ball rolling. But yeah, no, they definitely need to do some work. But these two new officers, they're new, so they're going to need some assistance from YDNM.
All right. All right. Thank you, Joey. So we'll keep going with the queue that's happening on chat. So let's go ahead and go with Judy Gordon. Mute yourself if you're not talking, please. Let's go ahead and go with Judy. If you have a question.
Oh, yeah. My question was, since the COVID has put the kibosh on getting out to register voters, I was wondering what the strategy was or what the ideas were for getting new voters registered, especially young Democrats.
Well, I mean, it really, with the pandemic, it's kind of week by week because the Young Democrats, especially in Bernalillo, used to meet fairly frequently to discuss strategy. And that's been happening via Zoom. But right now, we don't know when we'll be able to get out. So everything's just online, giving them places online where they can maybe register. But it's kind of, we're waiting and seeing. Will we be able to get back out? And if so, when? Because most of the strategy behind registering people to vote has been in person, going to events where people that are heavily populated. So most of the strategy has been going towards getting people out, getting people out to the polls. But there, as far as I know, there haven't been a lot more strategies about how to get people registered to vote outside of sending the links and resources that way. Because it's just, we would go to highly trafficked areas and you could get people kind of no matter what. One of the things we did do, because we'll eventually be able to do this, open back up, the Young Democrats would go to events that actually hit that age group. So not just a bar, but in town was RuPaul's Drag Race, which, I mean, if you're a person in the LGBTQ community or just somebody who, is aware of that culturally, that's going to have a certain age group. It's going to have people who are fairly liberal. We went there, got at least 10 to 15 people to register, and the people who already were registered were happy to see that somebody cared enough to come by and register them. So some suggestions are go to places that you don't normally go. You can't do that now, but online, even different chat groups or something maybe you're not usually a part of, and kind of just talk to them. It's a little weird right now, but that's probably the best strategy we have. Go to places you don't normally go, talk to folks you don't normally talk to online safely.
Yeah, this is Ruth, and for what it's worth, when MVD starts opening up, they've gotten their act together and they are asking the question, would you like to register to vote? Because I just experienced that about a month ago. And that's one avenue.
That's good to hear. Yeah. Marcus, did you? Okay, so we have a comment from Naomi Hatch. Unmute yourself.
Okay, there. Now it's developed into 3 comments. But anyway, I am a fellow Marylander, so go Terps, Marcus. But I think you didn't go to U of M. I think you went somewhere else, right?
Yeah, went to Morgan
But
State.
anyway, so a couple things. There's this group that's come forth that created the protest in Rio Rancho that are young, and they don't identify themselves as Democrats, but they're definitely part of the Black Lives Matter, that I don't want you to forget. I think it's called Surge, S-U-R-G or J. Somebody maybe correct me. And they would be a great group for you to invite. In addition, I also have marketing background, just like you. I was thinking maybe you could do some kind of a Zoom thing where everybody fills out a form to get their absentee ballot, sometime in October. And then once they get it, then you can do another event, want to have a beer or glass of wine, happy hour, and everybody can fill out their absentee ballot at the same time. But make it fun, maybe make it whatever you guys like to do, trivia or RuPaul or something. I have a millennial as a son, and I think it just has to be like either sports related or something that resonates for you guys. And I know that you have to continue to remind them that it's tonight, even like 1 hour before. So I don't know whether that helps. I had a third thing, but I can't remember what it is. So anyway, I would tap into that Surge group. And if I can get that to Leah, and then maybe she can get that to you. I'm sure Leah knows, but they had the protest last week at the city center in Rio Rancho. You probably heard about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, a friend of mine, that one. The organizers are one of his high school, some of his high school buddies. So I've actually been looking at trying to get them involved. I mean, there are a lot of different groups. I mean, the BLM, version that's here in the state. I try to engage with them as well. It's when there are issues like this, it sometimes becomes easier because all the groups are more present and new groups pop up. So I've been trying as I can to try to link as many groups back to the party as possible, just so that there's more organization, because a lot of people want to go to protests and just can't find where they are. So something as simple as having some information go out from one place. So I have been working on that with the Rio Rancho. As far as, again, engaging, video content is something that, I know DPNM and Young Dems have been kind of more, would like to focus more on, because that's just going to get people more engaged. Video content does that, about getting your ballot. It can be instructional, something really short. So a lot of us have been talking about. But again, as it pertains to the interest, it may seem like the interest level isn't the issue. Like, it being about something they care about, because you either care about what's happening now or you don't. So now, and educating people on what's happening is one thing, but if you're aware at all, I don't think we need to make it more interesting. Like, how much more interesting does it need to be that he has, kids in cages? Like, that's a lot of reason that he says racist things, that he lies all the time, that the country's going to crap. I don't think a lot of us need more motivation to go out. I think we just need to make sure that they're reminded to go out. Like, I watch a lot of types of TV, but I know I need to go vote him out because of these things. I like sports, but I know I need to vote him out because of these other things. It's, just having different aspects of your life. So I think we'll be good as long as we keep reminding people when to go and how to vote, and making sure it's safe for them.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we have a question from Brenda. Make sure you unmute yourself.
Hi, Marcus.
Hello.
I'm really proud of you. Thank you for your constitution to stand up and take a leadership role for the Democrats here in New Mexico. I'm really proud of you. And what you said about taking a leadership role because you want to be part of that change so that it happens sooner than later. That really resonates with me. So I'm really proud of you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Brenda.
So for me, public service is really important. It's an honor, it's a responsibility. And because of those ideals, I will never forget that I work for my constituents, the residents, the voters, the families, educators, retirees, veterans of Sandoval County. And I've been thinking, how best can I do that? Especially when we have a short session and then a longer session, but it's 1 month and 2 months.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of thinking, and I don't want to put you in a spot, but one of the communities that I want to keep close communications with is the African American community in Sandoval County, because what happened to George has galvanized the world, right? But how many of us, every single one of us, were absolutely outraged, right? What happened to Sandra? What happened to Trayvon? I think George has galvanized us, and I just don't want us to ever forget what's happened and move it forward. So again, I don't want to put you in a spot, but I was wondering, and you don't need to answer it right away, what you think, if it would be valuable if once I get into office, I start various committees, and one of them would be an African American committee of my constituents.
I mean, I think, thank you for all of that, Brenda. I'm glad I was able to, give you anything that's kind of inspiring. It's always helpful if people feel represented. Now, committees are also not something that's the trust that, we put together a committee on having a committee about a committee. So if there's an actual, if that's something you give them to do, I think it would be fantastic to have a committee full of people of color in general. I mean, you can make it specifically African American and do a bunch of them. That would be great too. But as long as there's some actual mission there, something that you can check some boxes to with some kind of progress, then I'd be 100% behind. As long as people have something to work towards, then they can work towards it. Because people get on committees to be on a committee. And especially something around race, I think it has to be necessary that these are people who want to get something done. So if you go about it that way, I'd be 100% behind you. I live in Sandoval, but if it's Democratic, well, it wouldn't be if you're elected. But I'll try to help out where I can as well. Sandoval. But yeah, I think that'd be a great idea, and I appreciate that sentiment.
Very good. All right. So I don't see any other comments or questions in the chat box. Anybody else have anything?
Did it.
Otherwise, we will wrap this up. All right. So our next second Saturday Zoom meeting will be on July 11th, and we will have Congressman Ben Ray Lujan as our featured guest. So hopefully you all can join and perhaps bring along a Zoom friend. So thanks all for joining tonight. And thanks Nancy for showing up. I'm glad everything went well. So between Nancy and Deb Dabson and Joel Wadsworth and myself, we run this monthly meeting. We're hoping to keep it going through Zoom, and then hopefully eventually back to Matucci's where we can see each other in person. So thank you all for joining, and thank you for supporting all our campaigns. And honestly, let's get Sandoval going to the blue side, and let's just keep going at it. Thanks all. See you next month.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.
No, I was hoping Nancy would stay.